Hello everyone. It's Thursday and it's a big deal. So we're here once again for another episode of this Communicate to Monetize show. And here today, once again, we have a very special guest here, and you got to know her in a little while, just in a few seconds. We have Sunny James today, and we're going to talk about something that's very, very important. It's like mission critical because if we don't have our mindset right, what else can we do, right? So I'm gonna introduce you, and I really want you to help me to welcome Sunny James. Sunny James, welcome to the Communicate to Monetize show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very great, and it's a great pleasure to be here.
Great. It's my pleasure to have you here, and thank you for accepting, to be here on the show. I wanna, I wanna get you like have you actually introduce yourself, what you've been doing. I know you have been doing a lot of things, so many things you've been doing. We can show everybody here watching right now, like you are a corporate speaker and a coach. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. I help people to be the best that they can to overcome and rise above any uh, problems that they're having and
Right.
obstacles that hold them back. So yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing. But help us understand, like, what exactly motivated you to get into this field? Like, why helping people with their? You mentioned about the champion mindset. Why is that for you?
Well, I'll tell you, Elder, it was through a life experience of my own that led me into wanting to help others.
Right.
I was hit by a drunk driver when I was 35 years old,
Wow.
and it was a life-changing experience, mainly for the good, only because it took my life on a different trajectory to success, extreme success. When I was about 20 years old, I had a dream in my heart of wanting to record my music. I was a musician and a songwriter. Came
Okay.
from a very musical family on my father's side.
Mm.
And so I had a dream in my heart to get my music into the recording studio and record it professionally and then put a band together and share it with the world.
Wow.
And so that, we all have a dream in our heart to do different things in our life. But
Right.
here's the thing, I didn't take action.
Mm.
I went to a trade school. I got I got out in the work world, working full time. I met my husband and got married, got engaged, got married, started a family.
Right.
And life is always coming at you. It's very busy from the
Wow.
time we get up in the morning till the time we go to bed. But if you're not focused and you have the right mindset to keep you on track
Mm.
and the right belief and confidence in yourself,
Right.
things are going to trail off. And if you don't have a plan of action also within the mindset, then you're just going to be like a boat out on the water in the ocean
Mm.
without a rudder, without a motor, and you're just at the mercy of the wind and the current taking you wherever you're going to end up instead of you being able to steer and choose where you end up and where you go in life.
Wow. That's deep. That's deep. So because we talk about the mindset, but you actually were more specific, like you talk about the champion mindset. I actually just want to remind everybody about the topic that we're actually talking today. How to become unstoppable through a champion mindset. What is it like this champion mindset in your own words?
Well, when you get the right, see, first of all, your mindset is a set of beliefs that resides inside your subconscious mind, and it
Right.
determines the outcome of everything that happens to you in your life,
Mm.
whether you have success, failure, or anywhere in between. So if you're
Right.
not happy with the outcomes you're getting, if you change your mindset, you're going to change your outcome.
Mm.
Some of those important things within your mindset are not what other people think about you, but how you perceive yourself.
Exactly.
If you don't believe in yourself and have that confidence, first and foremost, your mindset is everything. If you
Right.
don't believe and have the confidence in yourself, you either won't try or you're not going to try very hard. And it's going to stop you from going forward with the things that are really important in your life.
Right, right. I agree with you 100%. Well, because I also teach about mindset, right? Well, it's a bold mindset, but at the end of the day, we want to have like the champion mindset so we can actually move forward with our goals, with our dreams, and actually make dreams come true. Is that right? So, Sonny, tell me, like, because I want everybody watching right now to be really clear, crystal clear, when we talk about mindset, because a lot of people think that when we talk about the mindset, we're just talking about like it's like a motivation speaker, right? We're just motivating people. But from your experience, and I know you have a very solid experience. From your experience and your perspective, when we talk about like the mindset, the champion mindset, the bold mindset, in your own words, do you think that it's most like um, um, about like motivating people or actually getting people to be very clear about who they are and what they're actually supposed to do? What's your perspective on that?
It is just that. It isn't just motivation and inspiration. It's about
Right.
learning a system, a way that you think about yourself and how you go about your life and your business. You see,
Right.
there's those people that you admire for because they're where you want to be in life.
Mm.
And let me just do this little thing. If everyone out there could just close your eyes for just a second, and I want you for just a second to imagine that person that you admire because they're in the place that you're striving to try to go to, whether something in your life or business, okay, if we're talking about business, and
Right.
get that person locked in your mind. And this can be someone you know personally, someone you know online, someone you know in your community. But this is what I want you to know about this. And this is someone you're trying to strive to be like. That person that you have locked in your mind right now, there's nothing that they have that you yourself don't already have inside yourself. Let me say it one more time. That person that you admire because of where they're at right now, and that's where you're striving to be. There's nothing that that person has inside themselves that you don't already have inside yourself. You're lovable, you're valuable, you're strong. You have the power inside of you to do great things. You just have to learn how to tap into them. So open your eyes and know this. This is one thing that I'm going to teach you to do. It seems so rudimentary, so childish in a way, but I want everyone to take their right hand and open it up. And I want you to put it on top of your head. And I want you to massage it. Because we're taking all those I can'ts out of your mind.
Right.
The way that you think has everything to do with your success or failure. And I want you to take all those I can'ts out. So the I can is no longer an option. When you are trying to strive to achieve something, you need to take I can out. It keeps you held hostage as a victim to say, I can't do it, it's too hard. And I want you to replace it with, I can do this, I will do this, I must do this. And that's the mindset you must gain. I can do this, I will do this, I must do this. Whether it's professionally or on a personal level. When you start attacking life in that fashion with everything that you do, and when a challenge comes up, instead of saying, I can't do it, it's too hard, I can do this, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to get over this obstacle, around it, through it. You might even have to pioneer your own path to achieve what it is that you have set in your mind that you want to do as a goal. But when you change that one aspect, because that's what happened to me when I was in that accident, that's where I had that mind. For 3 years, I was held hostage.
Oh,
From all the injuries I instilled,
for three
I
years?
realized when the impact of that accident happened, I almost lost my life. And I didn't want to find myself at the end of my life looking back saying, I wish I would have. I wanted to be able to say, I'm glad I did. Once I switched that one thing in my mind and committed to my dream, life and it sounds so basic, but I'm telling you, it's the most powerful thing, your mindset.
Exactly. So, based on your experience, like from what I can understand, is like when the people change their mindset, they actually change their lives, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's what happened to me. That's why I'm here talking to people, because I achieved so
Wow.
much over a short period of time.
Mm.
Once I committed to that, it didn't happen overnight. It took time to get healed up, took time to get back to work and save money to be able to do that. But I
Right.
kept my focus on it, and and it wasn't easy either, because I was trying to get musicians to come on board for, the project and stuff. And then one at a time, either they wouldn't show up in the beginning. And the one guy, he was a drummer, supposed to be the best drummer in the area, 3 different times over
Wow.
like 3 months. I tried to schedule with him to meet up with him to talk about the project, to let him listen to some of my music. All 3 times, an hour after he's supposed to be there. Oh, I can't make it, but I'm still interested in this project. So I learned he's not serious about it, or else he would have showed up the first time. The
Right.
bass player, but then I had this opportunity where I saw in the paper that there was this singing competition. It was going to be about an hour drive from me. But if you won that, you would get like several hours of recording time in a recording studio. A recording
Okay.
studio is very expensive.
Mm.
Now, I went and I signed up for that. I didn't win it. However, that connected me to the person that had a studio,
Wow.
that had all the studio musicians. He could do the bass, he could do the keyboard, he could do backup vocals. He had all kinds of studio musicians. So in the beginning, when I was struggling and I couldn't have success finding the right people, then all of a sudden, because I kept going, I didn't give up. Then things started lining up. That's how life works. Things
Yeah.
won't always work immediately for you. Everyone's instantaneous gratification nowadays. But you have to realize, if you really want something, you have to be willing to work through all the hard parts of it.
That makes all the sense. That makes all the sense. And I think that um, it's so mission critical because, like, a lot of people, they really go through, like, I'll just call that hell on their perspective. Okay. They feel like, oh,
Yes.
well, I'm just locked. I'm just like, someone who has a lot of things holding me back. People just complain about it, but they do not understand. They actually tend to value more like learning like a technique, developing skills, but they just forget about the mindset aspect of things, right? So what would you say, like, because some people think that this mindset thing, even though we know that it's mission critical, but they just feel like, well, because I still work a job, because I'm a corporate executive, I'm like an entrepreneur. Like, do you think that it applies to pretty much everyone, even if you're like a university student, if you're like a corporate executive, or if you're just like an entrepreneur, or it's just specifically for entrepreneurs who have to like thrive and thrive and thrive? What's your best, advice on that for those people who think that it's not for them, for example?
Your mindset has everything to do with every aspect of your life. It does. And without it, without the right mindset, if you have a poor outlook, it's whether you have a positive outset. Here's the thing. Let me tell you this quick story. There
Sure.
was 2 salesmen on a plane from 2 different companies
To
going to a third
salesman,
world.
sales.
Salesmen. Yep.
Okay, good.
They're 2 different companies. These 2 salesmen are from 2 different companies on the same plane going to a third world country to sell shoes. They land over in the third world country. The first guy gets off, looks around, sees nobody's wearing shoes. He's immediately upset. He takes his phone, bloop, 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 bloop. He's dialing back to home office. I don't know why you sent me over here. This is a waste of time. These people don't even wear shoes. The second salesman gets
Yeah,
off the plane, looks around, sees the same situation.
right.
Nobody's wearing shoes. You know what he does? He picks up his phone. Bloop, bloop, bloop. He's calling back to the home office. I just landed over here. Send me everything you've got. These people need shoes.
Exactly.
Catch the message, people. Which lens do you look at? Do you look like every opportunity in every situation, or are you an excuse maker and want to complain and look at the negativity? If you're the person that's always complaining that things aren't working out for you, change your mindset to a positive one. Look for the opportunity. Know that it's there, know that it can happen. You have to find it. One important thing I want to mention, when I had you close your eyes and envision that person, not only do you have the same things inside yourself that they do, what's happening right now is you're looking at them at a successful place. What you didn't see is when they started and they were just where you are right now, or whether you're a little in, what level it is that you're after that goal that you're striving for. But you didn't see all the struggles that they went through. You didn't see all the challenges that was presented to them, but they were willing to not give up. Remember, I told you, take I can out. They were willing to work out every obstacle that came up, and that's why they are where they are right now. So yes, it is important for everybody and for every aspect of your life, personal, professional, absolutely.
So
Without it, you will struggle. And if you are struggling, I invite you to take and do that that one thing that I said. Even write down, I can, I will, I must. Post it on your refrigerator, post it on your computer where you're seeing it every day. And every time you go to say, I can't, it's too hard, look at those words and apply them and find your way through it.
yeah, yeah. So do you consider like the communication aspect as something like really related to the mindset that we have, and which will potentially boost our not only our confidence but also our attitude, the right attitude, in order to move forward with life and in business?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think that most people really like they kind of struggle to understand the relationship, between the communication and the mindset, because people think, okay, I'm going to think positive, but how do you think positive? How do you get the clarity if you don't really communicate with yourself? Like I'm talking about like the self-talk, you know. Do you want to comment on that?
Yes, I call that tuning into yourself. See, a
Good.
lot of people think that the answers are out here.
Exactly.
Some of them are in after you learn to tune in.
Yep.
Like I said, it's not as important of what other people think about you. It's what you yourself, right here between right here, what you think in your mind about yourself.
Yeah.
Do you believe in yourself? Do you have confidence in yourself? And communication is very important, not in especially tuning into yourself and having that. If no one else is telling you this, if you're not telling yourself this, that you are lovable, you are valuable, you have the power inside yourself to not only change your life and make a positive impact on your life, but that for others. We are here to serve others. That's what we were here. We're all born with a special gift, talent, and ability. Just like our looks are unique, so are our gifts, talents, and abilities. Once you tap into those and start serving others with your gifts and talents and abilities and serving them and helping them, your whole world will be opened up in an amazing way, because that's the true reason why we're all here. We're all here to serve with our talents, gifts, and abilities. And when you start giving gratitude in life for who you are, what you
That's the
have,
point. Yeah.
your
That's the point.
physical, your physical abilities, your mental abilities, all your senses that you have, your hearing, your sight. There was a saying, I felt bad for myself because I didn't have a pair of shoes until I saw someone that didn't have any feet.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So how do you look at your life? Are
Yeah.
you always, like I said, that example I gave of the two salesmen, are you always complaining? You're always looking for excuses? Or are you looking for the opportunities? When you change that view, and if you find yourself always complaining and always negative, and here's another thing too, you want to go through, this might sound crazy, you want to go through your phone and look at your contact list and every one of them. You want to look at that person and say, are they helping or holding me back? Helping or holding me back?
Wow.
Because of their negativity, or because if you're hanging out with people that are doing nothing with their life, they're not setting any goals, they're not trying to do good things and positive, and they're just sitting around complaining, distance yourself from them. I don't care if they're your family or friends. Not that you still can't hang out with them or communicate with them, but limit your time, because who you decide to have in your circle of your life will influence you in a negative or positive way.
Yeah.
So again, are they helping or hurting? And
I love that. I love that, Sonny. And I keep telling. Actually, I have one of my episodes. If I'm not mistaken, I think it should be the first one on the of this show, the Communicate and Monetize show, where I talked about what do you tolerate or accept. It's all related because people just tolerate, they just accept to have like pretty much anyone, everyone in their lives. But even though they know actually most of the times that they actually know that this people, this person specifically, is not actually helping me at all. Like it's not motivating. It's not um, impacting positively my life. But the person is just like that. Like it's just there. But why is this person taking the place potentially of someone else who could be coming, joining our life, being in our life, and actually helping us to get better at some point, at some domain, right? So this is the first aspect about what do you actually tolerate or accept. And the second one, even though it should be actually the other way around, right, is the gratitude, the attitude of gratitude. Because people have a hard time to really change their mindset because they just do not appreciate who they are and who they have in their life. What they have, who they are, who they became, they just don't appreciate, and it really like makes it even harder for them to really change their lives, right?
Absolutely.
Wow, wow.
See, like that's like what happened to me. When I
Mm-hmm.
had that accident, I had that dream of my music, but I wasn't taking action on it. And then, we fast forward now 15 years later, I still hadn't taken action on focusing and actually getting into the studio and recording that music. And then
Okay.
15 years later, the impact of that head-on collision from a drunk driver out on the highway. And there in that moment, I realized I almost lost my life. I almost died with my dream inside of me.
All right.
And even though I lived through it, it made me realize gratitude because for 3 years, I was in such pain and agony from all the injuries that I instilled. I couldn't even play my guitar. I could hardly sing because I was in so much pain all the time. I was shut down mentally, physically, emotionally. How many people out there get shut down physically, mentally, emotionally from something in their life?
A lot of
I want
people.
to tell you this, it's a choice for you to stay on that path or you can change it with your mindset. Say, I'm done with this. When I stopped becoming a victim of that situation and said, I'm committing to this. I almost died with my dream inside me, and I don't want to find myself at the end of my life looking back saying, I wish I would have.
Yeah.
Everything we do in our life, it's up, if it's going to be, it's up to me. It's our choice. You can choose to stay as a victim in that situation, or you can choose to change it. And for 3 years, I was shut down mentally, physically, emotionally. And then when I made that
Wow.
mindset shift and
Yeah.
said, I can do this,
Yeah.
I am going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
If my life, it depends, my life, the value of my life and everything that I am depends on me to do this. And when I switched that mindset to that and started
Yeah.
focusing on the positive of what could be, it didn't happen overnight. That's just it. Our world today is too instantaneous gratification.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything worth having takes hard work, and don't let anyone else ever tell you any different.
Yeah.
And if it's
Dedication,
going to
right?
be, it's just like, yeah, it's just like if you want to lose weight, can you do that? If you're overweight and out of shape, can you go to the gym once or twice a week and do a half-assed workout and eat a poor diet all week and expect to get results? Do you think you
That's
can do that, Helder? Will
no.
that work? That's right. So it's just like that. You have to have a recipe for success. And that's what
Yeah.
I've written a book that I'm just finishing up. It's called The Champion Mindset.
Wow. Love that.
And
Love that. Well, I
but
talk
yes,
about the growth mindset, but I think it's related. Of course, it's related. And and then another thing I've seen, like people I mentored, people I've helped, people I work with, it's like because they don't really accept and work to change their mindset to make it better. You just say it like that. They have a hard time to really take action. People don't succeed because they don't take action, and they don't take action because they haven't changed their mindset. You need to upgrade, like 10x your mindset or something like that. and of course the communication, because it's like people always say, well, I'll do it later. But then I tell them later becomes never, you know. Do you think that it's related, like from your perspective, because of the lack of the right mindset? They don't really take the right action and they don't have the right attitude?
Absolutely. When you start getting those things up in line, and here's, people, they get overwhelmed sometimes with if they're not used to this. But
Right.
here's a good exercise to do. And I invite people when they're watching this, yourself a piece of paper, and this will help to put things in perspective.
I got mine here.
Okay. There's 5 key areas in your life.
Yeah.
You have your
I'm
faith.
just going to help the audience here.
Okay. Number one, your faith.
Number one.
Number two, your family. Oh, faith,
Yep, got you.
your family,
Yep,
your health.
there you go. Health, right?
Yep. Your job or how you make money,
You just call
the,
income.
your income,
Income or source of income. It
and
works.
your hobbies.
There you go.
So just like Helder wrote those down, I'd like to invite you as you listen to this to get a
Yeah,
piece of paper and write that down for yourself, because you do this little exercise. I want you one at a time. This is something you can do. It take you just a few minutes to go through, but
sure.
take each one of those one at a time and honestly just think about them and
Right.
say, in this area of my life, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 meaning you're the best that it could be in your life, and 1 meaning it's just terrible in your life. And so you have to be able to, you have decide a starting place where you're at right now in each one of these areas. And then the areas that you really aren't happy with, then you have to ask yourself. That's what I call tuning in.
Good.
You have to sit somewhere quiet where you can like think this out in each one of those areas. If you're not happy or whatever, what is it that you want different in that area of your life? Because these are the 5 key areas of our life, and you have to keep them in balance. And if you're not happy in a lot of these areas or all of them or just a couple of them, they can turn your life upside down. But
Sure.
what did I say? If it's going to be, it's up to me. And it's a choice for you to stay there in that way, or a choice for you to make an adventure and a journey in your life. That's
I
what I
love
did.
it.
I
I
made an
love it.
adventure and a journey in my life to go after my music. My music led me into performing in front of people and also giving inspirational messages about how I created a personal self-development program called Believe in
Right.
Yourself. And
Believe in
so
yourself.
that helped me to give inspirational messages out to others. And it helped lead me into being a motivational speaker and an entertainer, with using, teaching people through comedy hypnosis and self-hypnosis, how to
Okay, good.
tap into your mind and get the right mindset so that you can start tuning into yourself, start
Right.
realizing some of these things about the areas of your life, and start making goals and expectations in those areas that you want changes in, and start taking action.
Good. Good. And it's also mission critical for people to understand and remember, for those who already know that every master was once a disaster. They're just so
Yep.
scared to get started like on their journey, but they have to realize that just get started. And of course, seek for help. By the way, for those who are watching right now, or if they're gonna watch the replay, if they want to get a hold of you, like how can they contact you, Sunny? Your email,
Uh,
your website? Yeah.
yes, I do have an email, and that's sunny@sunnyjames.com, and Sunny is spelled with a U. So
SU,
that's Sunny,
right?
SUNNY,
Right.
at SUNNYJAMES.com.
Great. Great.
And I also, I have a free gift for everyone that, it's just a very powerful video that I put together on an inspirational talk that I did on the mindset. And if you, it
Good.
takes you a little further in what we talked about today,
Mm.
but right there it is,
There you go. Gift.
sunnyjames.com forward
.com.
slash gift. And if
Love
you
that.
go there,
Yeah.
you can watch that video and go and bookmark that video or something so that you can go back and watch as many times as you need.
Right.
Because just like with your health and exercise,
Mm.
do you stay in shape and be healthy by just doing it once in a while? No, you have to be proactive at it. Consistency and persistency, never giving up. The one thing that you had mentioned too about um, people procrastinating,
Right.
yes, that's what happened to me. I wasn't focused on what I wanted to do because life is busy, like I
Oh yeah.
talked about. Life is busy,
Gets on
coming
the
at
way.
you 90 miles an hour every day from the day you get up to the time you get up every day till the time
Right.
you go to bed. But if you get focused on the things that you want in your life, you have to set the expectations
Mm.
and you got to keep them in your sights because out of sight, out of mind. So
Right.
making goals, writing them down, post them where you can see them, put them in a reminder on your phone, and then
Sure.
take action. My version on taking action is TNT. Do it today, not tomorrow.
Exactly.
Because just like me in that accident, you might not be here tomorrow. I might not be here
Exactly.
tomorrow.
Yep.
And I don't want to find myself, and I'm sure you don't want to find yourself at the end of your life looking back saying, I wish I would have, be able to say, I'm glad I did, because I'm telling
Yeah.
you, you start changing these couple things that we're talking about today with Helder and I,
Yeah.
and you start applying them in your life, you'll never feel more alive.
Yeah.
If you've been shut down and mentally, physically, and depressed, when you start focusing on your talents, gifts, and abilities and setting goals and taking action, and they start happening, it's going to ignite this spark, is going to ignite this unbelievable feeling inside yourself that you cannot find anywhere else on earth.
Wow.
No
Wow.
drugs can give you that. No alcohol can give you that. It is just life. And you will never feel so alive and so glad to be alive and
Yeah.
so anxious for the next day to see what else you can do and who you can serve and
Sure.
how you can help. By helping others, I tell you, that helps your heart.
Exactly. And I want everybody to also understand and remember, if they already knew that, that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be functional. Okay, high functioning. If you can, that would be great. But what Sunny and I are actually sharing here, if they really watch at least two, let's just say three times, it's like so mission critical. It's like we're coming from experience. It's not theory, and it is really transformational because if you don't get your mindset right, you don't get your life right. I keep telling my mentees, like, if you don't get your mindset right, you cannot get your life right because your attitude, the way you do things, it really comes from the way you think, what you think about. The way you see things. You just mentioned actually earlier in this conversation about not only about the procrastination, but it's really about, okay, how do you take out of your mind all those I can't. You just put in your mind, I can do it. Because by the end of the day, we are and we represent energy, right? When you think positive and you clear on your why you're thinking positive, why do you think you should do this and that? It needs to be clear because clarity is power. And you want to power, you want to have this champion mindset, the bold mindset that Sunny just talked about. You have to be like, okay, am I really open to learn? Can I empty my cup so I can actually learn from Sunny James, learn from Helder? It doesn't really matter who you choose to learn from, but just implement. It's not about the theory only. It's about implementation. Sunny just, talk to us about the, you know, the implementation side of things. You change your life completely because after that accident, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because you realize, oh my God, I was wasting my time at some point, and my life was gonna, end just like a few minutes, few moments ago, and I'll be dying with my dreams, my goals, when I could actually have done it differently, right, Sonny James?
Oh, absolutely. Yep, I tell you,
Yeah,
what I experienced there, even though it was a terrible thing to go through, and for those 3 years of healing up and stuff, and not sure how my life was going to end up,
yeah,
when I switched my mindset and committed to what it is that I thought that I lost the ability to do,
right,
because that's where the gratitude comes in. When
exactly.
I no longer had my health in that time, and I
Yeah,
was like, how stupid are you to have not taken action? Why didn't you do that? Now you can't even play your guitar, you know? And I didn't think it could happen, but when I changed
yeah,
my mindset and said, I'm going to
yeah,
do this, I'm going to
yeah,
get healed up from this, I'm
of
going to
course.
go forward with this, and when I do and can afford it, there is nothing and nobody that's going to stop me from getting into the studio. And like I said, it didn't happen overnight. There was challenges along the way. It was probably a year and a half before I was able to get all of my, I had 11 of my originals recorded. My first CD was called Walking Down Life's Road.
Right.
And, but I'll tell you, when that CD was done and I could hold it in my hand and see
Yeah.
it and hear all the music on it professionally recorded with full instrumentation and harmonies and everything in there, it was like, it made me cry. It was like, wow. And
I
that,
can imagine. I can imagine.
yeah,
They have to believe, like we have to believe, and not only believe, but we have to get clear, the clarity that we actually need. Like we have to know about our why, because people just, get, they try to get things done. They just do things wherever they want to do it because they just feel like, okay, I have to do something. But make sure you're doing the right thing. And how do you know? How do I know, Helder, that I'm actually doing the right thing? Ask yourself why. This self-talk, this tune in with yourself that Sonny James calls, it's really like mission critical because I've Sonny, I've met so many people. Like I'm talking talented people, people with skills, like technical skills, but they barely could move forward and do great things. Why? Because of the mindset. They just like they
yeah,
put yeah they just they used to put themselves down all the time. It's like they were allowing their lower self to talk louder, like comparing to their higher self. It's like, "Oh, I cannot do it. I'm not good enough. I'm like, I cannot do it. I cannot handle this situation." But then I ask people, why do you live in such like a field of it's not like so much fear in your life? But what's actually funny is that we go to bed every single night believing that we're going to wake up the next day, even though we're not 100% sure, but we still take the risk. We still make plans. So, how, if we can actually face this risk, this challenge, which is called life, why can't we just move forward? Start learning from someone who's been there, done that. I think everything we're sharing here, and I want to thank you once again, Sunny. It's like mission critical, and it's a very, very big topic. I think we're gonna have to do it again in the future, Sunny, because like even the attitude, like giving feedback, communicating properly, like letting people know, informing, communicating with people, like all these things really come from the mindset. I want everybody to be clear on that, right?
yep.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I want to tell people is you have those 5 things that you wrote down. So what I
Sure.
want your
I got
challenge,
here the
your
five keys
challenge,
areas. Yeah.
your challenge is when you go through those 5 things,
You're
just
right.
take one thing that there's some things that you're not happy in that area.
Mm,
Ask yourself, what is it that would make me happy in this area? How can I change this to be different to the way that I want it to be?
right.
And then set a goal, set a small goal to
Mm,
try to work towards achieving that. And as you do that and take action on it and write it down, because there's a magical thing. I've seen it time and time again. There's a magical thing when
yeah.
you have an idea of what it is that you want and you're thinking about it, but when you physically I encourage you to take pen to paper,
Mm,
because there's something magical that happens when you start getting it out of your mind and writing it down. Then you visually can see it, then
exactly.
say it out loud. tell some others about what it is that you're working towards, because then it goes from an idea to an actual thing happening.
Right, right. I
And
agree.
it's like letting the genie out of the bottle. It is. There's something that's magical
Yeah,
about that happens, and it will ignite you to go further than what you ever would. If you just keep thinking about it and you don't start doing these things to take action, to get it out of your mind, write it down, keep it posted where you can see it,
yeah,
write out a plan of how you're going to do that, take the first step that it would take and start working on it today, not tomorrow. And
yeah,
I'm telling you, when you start seeing results and you start seeing, you got to be consistent and persistent, because if you're not, like you said, it isn't because people aren't happy and successful because they lack knowledge. It's because they just don't have the right mindset and the right wanting to. And like I said, it's a process. It's like a
yeah.
formula.
Hmm.
If I never baked brownies before, and I didn't know how, if you held or gave me a recipe, even
Right.
if I never baked them before, I
Yeah.
have on this paper exactly what to do, the steps, what ingredients I need, the steps that I need. And if I follow them, I might not make the best brownies, but
Right.
I'll be able to make brownies. So
Exactly.
that, I have a program that I put together, and it's called the oh, getting it's called the champion mindset. It's just like the
Okay.
book, and that's
Right.
the book is coming out here shortly.
Right.
And so what it's going to do is take people through a process, sort of, and it's like a recipe. It's the mindset, the mission, and the moves,
Right.
and it's a
Good.
three-step process. But if you go to that page for the free gift,
Yeah.
there on it'll talk, if you want to reach out to me, how to do
Sure.
that. But
Sure.
anyhow, go to that free gift,
Love
listen to
that.
that video, listen
Yeah.
to it 2 and 3 times a day. Don't just listen though, we have to start applying this in our everyday
Exactly.
life, and you will see a profound change in yourself and how you're approaching life. Think positively. Like I said, look at your contacts, helping or hurting. Every person in your contacts, helping or hurting,
Yeah.
start embracing and encircling yourself with people that are positive,
Mm.
that are uplifting, that are doing positive things, that aren't just sitting around wasting their life, just, on their phone all the time, watching TV all the time, and not actively doing anything
Yeah.
positive with their life. You have to, your circle of friends will determine where you know, how far you'll go and how you'll go in your life. So
Mm.
when you start changing, if you're not happy where you are and you just start changing these basic things about yourself
Sure.
and listening to positive, uplifting things, like we drive around all the time. You can choose to tune into a song, or you can tune into inspiration and uplifting things that can help
Yeah.
to change your trajectory for yourself and your life. So just apply some of these things that we talked about today, and like I said, you can start seeing some profound changes in your life in the positive.
Sure. Sure. I believe so, and I really hope that everyone actually watching now live or the replay, you don't just watch, you really implement. Implementation is key. I talk about LIG, which is learn, that's great, but you have to implement and then grow. If you do not implement, no result will actually show. Like it's just like that simple and that straight. So, Sonny James, I want to thank you once again. I think it was a very interactive conversation. We've like you shared like some golden nuggets here, and I believe that our audience will definitely implement. Okay, we had, for example, today we had some challenges here, like technical challenges with the technology here, but still we did not allow, because of our mindset, we did not allow that to hold us, back from actually having this very important mission critical conversation, because your mindset is your life, the way you think, because you either get sick from your, let's just say, stomach or your head, your mind. So if you get this thing here right, where else can actually hold you back? who else can stop you? That's why you become unstoppable through a champion mindset. Let me just put it here so everyone can actually see. That was our topic today, and I really hope that everyone watching here live or even the replay, they got like those golden nuggets and they say, well, this is actually what I wanted to hear. And remember, the communication is mission critical, but it also comes from your mindset. You communicate what you have in mind, what you have in your heart, but be open to learn more. We gonna have soon our beautiful Sunny James, I think, because I'm going to be inviting you again here on the show. This Communicator Monetize show exists because of that, to empower people, regardless of their field, like whether they are entrepreneurs, corporate executives, university students. You want to have a better life, you want to design your future, get clear in your mindset, mission, and moves. You tune in, implement, not just learn, implement so you can actually grow. With that being said, I want to thank you once again, Sonny James, for this amazing conversation, and I really look forward to having you in the next episodes. You want to have? Do you still have anything to say to share in the closing? Go ahead.
All I'd like to do is encourage everybody to start implementing what you've learned today
Sure.
and take it to heart. And you're going to start seeing some profound changes in your life in a positive way.
Wow.
And then come back and let us know how it
Sure.
goes for you.
I love it. I love it. All right. So we're going to end our show today, this episode. I just love it. I think we share some of the things that we usually only share when we actually mentoring people, we coach you. But you know what? We don't take anything from this world when we actually are gone. So why not sharing, which is caring, and just empowering someone else who actually needed to hear this. All right. So thank you once again, Sonny James. And this is one more episode of the Communicate to Monetize show. See you next time. And don't forget, stay tuned because we're going to be back soon. Bye. There you go. I think we're good.
All right.